Hi, everybody. Ron Placone here, and you are watching another summary from the Indie Bohemians morning show. Good to be back. I know that I was on the road a good bit last week, so I was not doing this. I was kind of out of the loop, had a lot of traveling, so I was not on the air, and I missed it. I was ready to be back, ready to get back on the airwaves and on the YouTube waves, however you want to put it. One of the issues that we talked about a good bit today was the new campus sexual assault bill that's going forward in California, the Yes Means Yes bill. And, you know, when I first saw this, when I first just saw Yes Means Yes and didn't know anything else about it, my first response was a little bit of hesitation because I was worried, like that type of verbiage right out of the gate. I almost thought this might be some kind of victim shaming type thing, like, well, yes means yes, and you went along with it, and this and that, and blah, blah, blah. This was a yes. But when I read into it, obviously I saw that that wasn't the case. This bill's more concerned with saying consent is consent, and if you don't have consent, that's exactly what it sounds like. It is not consent, and it's saying, you know, just because somebody is maybe passively going along with it, not actively resisting, that does not qualify as consent. You know, just because drugs and alcohol are involved, that doesn't mean you get a pass and it's okay. So I think in a lot of ways this is a step in a much better direction. And some people have said, oh, well, this is almost, you know, getting too overreaching, where, I mean, what do we expect college kids to, you know, make out a permission form like, we're going to have sex now and it's consensual, check the yes box. But I don't think that's what this bill does. I don't think that's what this bill is really trying to do. I think what this bill is trying to do, it's trying to make it clear that, you know, consent is consent. Yes means yes. And just because, you know, just because somebody maybe didn't put up a physical fight because maybe they're so intoxicated that they couldn't resist, or maybe they were drugged or something like that, well, that's still rape. That is definitely 110% of the time rape, as it should be designated as such. Now, in a situation where somebody roofies another person or drugs somebody, obviously that person's not looking for consent. That person is looking to knowingly commit a crime, and that's what they're going to do. So having a bill like this, unfortunately, will not prevent those types of things from occurring. They will still occur. However, what you hope for is that this bill will allow it to become a little bit easier to bring those types of people that are going to do those things to justice. That there's not going to be any ambiguity. Oh, well, I don't know if they were drugged or not, and they didn't fight or resist, so I don't know. You can't say it's rape. Well, no, yes, we can, because yes means yes. And obviously, if you're drugging a person, that's of course a crime 110% of the time, and that's been the case before this bill, and it will be after the bill and forever. But now maybe, you know, the levels of ambiguity will be diminished some because of a bill like this. So I think that's a positive thing. I mean, college is a time to, of course, celebrate your sexuality. I mean, come on, it's college, but it also needs to be respected, and people need to be respected. And you know, the wrong occurrence or sexual assault, that can ruin people's lives, the lives of everybody involved. And you know, having a bill, and that's why a lot of students have been in favor of this bill. A lot of like the overall feedback from college students, they're saying, yeah, we want consensual sex. We want everybody involved to want this and to want to move forward. So you know, there should be a bill saying that that's the case, and so the people that aren't abiding by this, they'll be held accountable. So I think this is a step in a better direction, and I think it needs to start before college, though. I mean, this is something that needs to be brought up in middle school and definitely in high school. I mean, you think about what happened in Youngstown a while back with those football players that raped that girl, and those two players are, I think, at least one of them is playing football again now. I'm pretty sure they're kind of just back now. They kind of just got a slap on the wrist. Now, and I'm pretty sure the member of Anonymous that leaked the information that was able to find them guilty, I think that person is still in jail. But pretty sure those football players, they just kind of got their slap on the wrist. They're back on the field. So there's still a lot of problems, and I think Going back to my first look and my concerns, before when it was just no means no, there was almost this sort of implication, and one of my co-hosts brought this point up that I thought was a very good point. When it was just no means no, there's almost this implication, well, if it wasn't no, it must have been consensual then. I think this yes means yes things, just because somebody might have been so drunk that they couldn't resist, or they couldn't physically resist or verbally resist, that's not consent. That doesn't mean yes, they were okay with this, and a person can still be held accountable. And I think that's a good thing. I think that's a really good thing that we say, consensual is consensual, and there's not a whole lot of area for grayness. I mean, of course, there will be some. There are situations where two people are intoxicated, but if those two people were consensual and said yes at the time, well then, I guess you got to handle that as a case-by-case thing. But now it's kind of like yes means yes, and yes means yes, and if you didn't get a yes, if it didn't seem consensual, just because there wasn't any resistance, that doesn't mean it was okay. I think that's what this bill is going to accomplish, and I think based on a lot of the verbiage of this bill, that's kind of what it's going to go after. I don't think this is overreaching. I don't think this is, you have to have a permission slip with a yes box checked, otherwise it could be. I don't think that's what this is going to do here. I think it's going to have largely a positive effect. So we'll see what happens with it, and we'll see if it maybe gets on a more national level. But right now it is just kind of moving forward in California, so we'll see where it goes from there. You've been watching a summary from the Indie Bohemians Morning Show. Quick little housekeeping here. I have been off the past week. There's not going to be any Thoughts, Rants, and Cold Coffee today because Labor Day I kind of hung out and went swimming and enjoyed my Labor Day, so didn't have a Thoughts, Rants prepared for today. There will be a Media Bites tomorrow and a Thoughts, Rants, and Cold Coffee on Thursday, as well as summaries tomorrow and Thursday as well, so we'll pretty much be getting back to our normal schedule. Thanks for tuning in, and this is Ron Placone signing out. Leave your comments, leave your feedback. Maybe you see this bill differently, maybe you agree. Let me know what you think. And this is Ron Placone signing out. Thanks for watching.